Logan, Athlon's has a section with every team page where they basically interviewed an opposing coach in the conference, and it's anonymous, of course, but they've got their take on that particular team. So this is scouting the Seminoles, and this is coming from an opposing coach in the ACC. So pick your coach. It's 1 out of 13. I would think they'd get somebody in the division, most likely. All right. This is what opposing coaches have to say about Florida State. Okay. It's possible that Mike Norvell might have this thing turned around a little bit, but not to the level that fans are going to want right now. They've relied so much on transfers, especially on defense. You never really know what they've got out there, and I don't mean that as a compliment to their strategy. Some of those guys have hit, but you can't maintain that at Florida State. At some point, you got to stop using Band-Aids. So that's one comment.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I like that coaches, because I guess it's anonymous, they'll keep it real and not fake. I hate fake BS. I wish they'd kind of say it just straight up how it is, because these are coaches, and they get paid to coach, and it's also fun to try to decipher and figure out who that might be. I think everybody's always trying to figure out what Dabo's saying about Florida State, since it seems like he and Mike Norvell have not had maybe the hottest start relationship wise since COVID-19. But yeah, go ahead and proceed with whoever's next.
So the next comment is Jordan Travis is athletic and makes a bunch of plays, but he also seems hurt all the time. Can he function more as a primary thrower and dial down the runs? You have to think the coaches want that too. I don't think he was moved around that much by design. The offensive line looks like it will be better than the last few years. That's one place where they've been using the portal pretty well, and they always have talent at running back. So if they can match that on defense, they're going to be better overall for the first time in a long time.
So Jordan Travis and rushing attack and running back room. They would like to have Jordan Travis throw more, and I think we saw that developed last year. I thought he kind of put himself back to how he was a little bit at the beginning of the season, how he was before, with being a little bit antsy in the pocket, running around, taking hits that were definitely not needed. But I think some people are forgetting, and I see this on Twitter, and I think this is now the off season for FSU Twitter, where we just completely forget about what happened maybe at the last 6 or maybe 5 games of Jordan Travis. He started fixing a lot of these things, going out of the way, not getting the hit. Some of these he had to go in and he was working to get yards to get these first downs. But I think a lot of people are forgetting the way that he protected the ball, protected himself a little bit more. Some of these are just going to sometimes happen when you get sacked, and it's Florida State's offensive line that it seems like they were hurt and dinged up since week 1, practically, week 2, week 3. Sacks are going to happen. So, that the biggest thing with Jordan is that elbow, it seems like, or that arm. Things are going to happen, but he's developed in the last 6 games with that whole, everybody wants him to slide down. Well, he was doing that. Go back and watch some tape, please.
And we've got a comment here that the UCF linebacker Tatum Bethune is going to help them out. They have almost all of their receivers back, but none of them really blows you away. They don't have a go-to guy in that unit. Is 7-5 enough? It should be. They could put pieces together this year. They create a huge 23 season, and they're not in a place where they can really show off their high school recruiting. And yeah, we've all heard the talk about Dion. So is 7-5 really enough?
So I like
who knows who made all those comments, but it was an ACC coach.
Yep. No, I mean, I like that some coaches are trying to fuel the fire there with them, because I'm sure some of these coaches that at least have any more than 5 or 6 brain cells know that probably Dion wouldn't be as successful as maybe some of these other people on the internet believe that he would be. Sure, you would probably do pretty well on the recruiting front for some of the aspects, but you can still do the same thing for 2 years, 3 years. Some of these coaches coming in, getting all that hype once arriving, and you get that new staff in and everything's hot, but then you screw up and you don't have 2 good seasons. That's currently let's be real. That's what Florida State's in. You get hot early on. This is brand name. This is Florida State. You're going to get high caliber recruits in here no matter what. Definitely in those first 1-2 years. But if you ain't winning, you're not going to land any of the big boys, the big cats that you've not been able to hold on to. And now, looking ahead to this class, aren't able to grab until you win. And so this is what this staff knows in Tallahassee. The biggest factor in recruiting is going to be wins. So, yeah,